Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your weekly tarot energy forecast. Now, this week we're going to take it from the 19th of September all the way through the 27th of September. That is what is guided. I'm so very grateful for all of the new subscribers. Welcome to this channel. I pray and I affirm that everything I share here truly serves your path of sovereignty and spiritual growth in the highest and most beautiful ways. Thank you if you're just stopping by for the first time. I welcome you, I welcome you, I welcome you. Make sure you go down to the description box below and check out my free books. I have a few free books at Kindle and on iBooks, and I also have a website that you can subscribe to for my monthly love letter with all of my little blogs and things that only people who are subscribed there get access to. And also I have other books for purchase that you can scroll, the REIKI Apprentice and How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration. So thank you everyone for being here. We use the Osho Zen Tarot, but we also use the Voyager Tarot, and we begin our readings with the Voyager Tarot. That's how we've been guided to do it, so we're going to stick with that pattern. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we'll start our shuffle, and we'll call in our angels and our guides and all of those divine light beings. We welcome you. We welcome your guidance. We welcome your love, your support, and we thank you. We thank you for always holding space for us in the most beautiful, divine, and synchronistic ways. We acknowledge your presence, our angels, and all the ways that you channel through human beings, all the ways that you channel through Mother Nature, all the ways that you channel constantly your love and your light in our presence. We awaken to your presence, and we thank you. So we just had a few poppers. Let's grab them. Give me a moment. Okay, my friends. So we have three, and I don't know what they are, but you do, because you can see. I'm getting, which am I? I'm getting, we're supposed to do the middle. Let's see what it is. Looks powerful. Let me get the glasses. Oh, strength. Yes, look at this. Look at that. So much going on in this beautiful card. Okay, let's look it up and we will read. We will read for our strength card this week, September 19th through the 27th of 2018. And I know there's a bit of a glare. I'm going to do my best to hold it in a way that it will not be too glary. Strength. As Leo the lion, symbolic of rulership, strength represents the law of self-dominion. Woo! Strength is the free and controlled total expression of your being. As symbolized by the headrest, Shu, Egyptian god of the air who brought order out of chaos, maintain dominion over your mind. The pool of fiery water symbolizes your emotional control. The hand on the lion's face represents dominion over your physical and animal lusts and appetites. The Parthenon, is a symbol of your mastery over your worldly life. This is so explosively amazing, in tune with what we've been working on. Your supportive non-possessive hands, I'll repeat that, represent the freedom of expression you give to your attributes. Like the singing bird and blossoming flower, don't be afraid to declare yourself and show your colors. Have the courage of the lion to be yourself. Like the half-human, half-animal face, you can put on many masks. Be versatile, a player of many roles. As the fragile but strong egg and butterfly, express yourself in the yin and yang. Strength is living in full accord, with the undiluted multiplicity of your spirit. So that's really powerful and outrageous, and I love what that card is speaking to right out the gate about, what did it say? What is it? I love what it said, but wait, what did it say? Okay, yes, that this Shu, the Egyptian god of the air, brought order out of chaos, maintained dominion over your mind. In Ayurveda, the science of life that is used in India, the element of air is specific to the mind. And so it's interesting. We get to really master our mind this week. Just right out the gate that this is our overview card. And also this aspect of to be yourself, to have the courage to be yourself, to be true to yourself, but to also express and embody the law of self-dominion. So where you're free, you're sovereign, yet what I want to say is you're impeccable. You are impeccable. You have cultivated, or you're in the process of cultivating strength. So where is this part? I'm looking for it here. It spoke to lust. Where's the lust? Here it is. The hand on the lion's face represents dominion over your physical and animal lusts and appetites. The Parthenon is a symbol of your mastery over your worldly life. Now, why I'm focusing on that for a moment here is it's so very interesting. If you are aware and you follow these readings, all our readings over this last month have been specific to this undoing of ourselves, the death of us. Oh, and this is it. We're here. This is the week where we die, everyone. If you haven't died yet, welcome home. prepare to die. And I mean that in the most highest love and light-filled sincere ways, in that all we've been talking about on my live streams and here on our tarot readings, and even in random little posts that I make here, there, and everywhere, is this aspect that our DNA has been calibrating and activating, and that old parts of us are dismantling and releasing. And we're coming into these new aspects of self. We've been honing our crafts. You are your craft. You are your container. We've been learning how to master ourselves, master our minds, master our emotions, and also heal ourselves in light of all of this massive energy that's been coming in through those eclipses, through the retrogrades, and just all of these astrological shifts if you follow astrology at all, or maybe you just feel it, right? I know people on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. Link is down below if you want to check it out or follow. And everyone's like, man, this Kundalini's off the chain, you know? And it's true. That's what our last 2, 3 maybe. I'll put a link here for our tarot playlist. I'll just put the whole playlist there, and you can browse it if you'd like. But it's just been all of these messages about DNA, right? The recalibration of the DNA, the releasing, the dying, the sleeping of those DNAs that no longer serve us, so that the ones that are ready to activate and be activated can get the show on the road, can take us on our show on the road. Now, the lust. What happens is when we start to get turned on energetically, you may find yourself getting turned on physically because, I mean, just like randomly, because there's a freeing up of Kundalini. We did a lot of talk about Kundalini over these past weeks, of freeing up of this amazing, powerful, vital life force energy from the base of your spine. And because it comes from the base of the spine, that's your first and second chakra, where we get over our fears, we get into our bodies, and we begin to feel bubbly. Or as I like to say sometimes, a fire in the loins. And learning how to hold that space. And believe me, I know, and I've talked about it before, that I and very sincerely, I laugh a lot here, and I always get giddy. If you're a regular, you know I always laugh. Like when we do these tarot readings, I have so much fun. I just do. And it's awesome. So thank you for being here with me. But if you watch 4D Trinity, my weekly live stream, you know that I've mentioned once or twice that we will venture into this aspect of meditation and masturbation. And, you know, do you not? Brahmacharya, holding your seed, holding that life force, learning to move that Kundalini, that life force up. Because when you're a beginner and you're just like turned on, it's like you're like, what do I do with all this energy? It's a lot of energy. And so learning to work with it consciously, you know, and if you're guided to make love with it, with your lover or whoever it might be, you know, doing that consciously, not just from the first 2 chakras, but from an awareness of a higher level, or equally if you're guided to work with this energy in Tantra, again, it's healing. This is healing. This is your power packets of life force energy that are becoming awakened and illumined. And so activating through your body. And if you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, what is she talking about? If you've ever taken ecstasy, the drug, when you get a Kundalini blitz, well, it's different for everyone, so I'm not going to say that, but what can happen is that as you learn how to hold that frequency of you being the true you, see, that's what turns you on. That's what turns you on, is the unveiling of all the illusion of all the parts of you that are not you, so that the you that's been here all along has room to like stretch and like awaken and be like, woo, okay, it's time for the show, it's time to play. Look at the lion. We know we've had that conditioning card several times. The conditioning where the lion has been, it's called conditioning, where the lion is roped to the sheep and it thinks it's something that it's not, but the layers of conditioning have been coming off. And so we've been awakening to our true selves. And that's a turn on. It's just a turn on. Life begins to change. Everything within you and around you begins to change because you start to love. You start to generate and create the correct conditions to be a container for love. And that love is very powerful and potent. And so again, sometimes we don't know how to hold it. I'm going to recommend, I'm going to put her link down below. I did a yoga tantra retreat with Laura Karate. She has a retreat and she holds space. Her website, Path of Tantra. I'll put it down below so you can check her out. If she's, and I know she mostly does stuff all around the globe, and a few dates. She just did something in Los Angeles, and it really helped me to heal my life. And so this is what we're talking about though. This strength, this vital life force energy, this is you at your 100%. This is you being in your full power and authority. Yet, what it's saying is like you might have a lot of fire in your loins, and so use that energy consciously, mindfully, as impeccably as you can. So okay, we just had 2 cards fall out of the deck that as I'm just holding them here. 2 cards fell out. We'll look at those here shortly. You learning how to not just spill your seed just because you're turned on, and to use it appropriately, learning how to spiritualize your seed. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. If it comes up more, we'll go in deeper. Possibilities. So these 2 cards, as I was shuffling and just chatting with you, these 2 cards came out. Possibilities. So this is a card of fire. And look at the eagle high in the sky. The eagle, you see things differently now. And look at this major arcana, integration. You have integrated. We have integrated. Or this is the week of integrating all of these parts of self that have been unfurling, all of these new DNAs, DNAs, plural, that are awakening, right? It takes a minute. I mean, I've spoke about it. You know, I've gone through several like mini Kundalini bump ups that have been extremely challenging, but that at the same time wasn't anything I couldn't handle as long as I listened to my higher self. So we're being invited to, if you feel rocky or like you're on the roller coaster, the DNA roller coaster, and you're getting turned on, your lights, your inner lights of creation are activating, you know, keep your meditations conscious and constant, because your higher self, you need to stay in tune with your higher self, because your higher self will just tell you what to do, like on a blow by blow basis. Everything, if you're like, I don't know what to do, the higher self's like, I got you. You know, go into the bathroom now, wash your face. You'll be like, but and the higher self is like, just do it, and you'll do that, and you'll be like, oh, and it'll like change everything. And then the higher self will go like, okay, go drink some juice, and you'll drink some juice. You'll be like, oh, I feel more grounded. Higher self's like, yeah, I got you. And if you're like, but I just need to cry, higher self is like, here's a box of tissues. You know, like, it's got you. You got you. The universe has your back, as we say. But the practice here is you having your own back. You having enough spine to lean in on yourself, to lean into your process and not be afraid of it. Very powerful, everyone. Woo! We are coming up. So let's go ahead. We've been shuffling. We're going to keep shuffling, and Okay, we had a chunk fall. Sometimes it's like that. Oh, there's only 2. Okay, we're going to keep going. So we thank you, our angels, for all of your divine inspiration. I sign myself into the keynote of everyone guided to come along and view these readings, this reading, September 19th through September 27th of 2018. We thank you for all of your offerings, all of your divine guidance, and we know and we trust that you gift us what we need to hear. And may everyone who watches this video, whether they stop by for 5 minutes or watch the entire thing, may everyone get what they need from it. For the highest good. So it is. So it is. We're so very grateful for your presence, your constant presence, our divine guides, and all the light that shines from you that helps us to find our way. Okay, so I'm getting to take these guys out that are popping out. One. Oh, that one wanted to come. And this one, and this one, and then one fell down here. Woo, okay. Oh my Lord, that's a lot of cards. Let's see what's going on. Whew, okay. Okay, so there's some repeaters. I see we're kind of reviewing so that we can move on ahead. So I'm going to put integration and possibilities up top. And it's very, very interesting. Okay, yeah, we definitely have the Kundalini here. So, top row, projections. We had this recently. Emotional card. Now, we know a lot of our pain has been inviting us to heal our emotions, to heal those parts of us that are still locked into the past. What parts of you are hooked into the past and are still having conversations with that other person? When it's been 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 months, or longer, and you're still talking to them because there has not been closure. And that's been a theme that's been up because we are at this, I'm just going to say it, this monumental shift of consciousness that is, it's like being placed on a platter in front of us. Now, you don't have to take any fruit from that platter, yet it's there. If the correct conditions are created within you, that you are in tune with that higher self and you know when to turn, at the right time, that platter's right there, and you say, oh, thank you, I will have a strawberry off of this cosmic platter of possibility. And where I'm going with that is that the theme has been that closure. It's time to heal, to seal and heal those gaps, because if we don't, it becomes the burden that drives our life. And even if we don't think it does, this is that subconscious level where something else has your staff of power, something else is steering you. As long as you have not had closure with that person, place, or thing, it walks with you wherever you go. And so we move from projections, from talking to this person in our mind, from having them with us wherever we go, from not really fulfilling a sense of closure, to understanding, to taking that leap beyond the cage like the little bird and taking flight. Because once you heal, once you allow yourself to heal those aspects that are begging, they're beckoning for you to take that step in that correct direction so that you can see things differently. This and this being told where to go and what to do by a force or a person or a place or a thing or a memory is very different from having the courage to take flight, to do it, to make your own decision, to have your own back, as we were saying. It takes strength. And now, if you've been allowing yourself to die and just completely surrendering, look at this in the corner here. What's going on there? So powerful. It takes strength to let go. It takes strength to forgive, to forget, to bless, to heal, to face those feelings that have maybe been walking with you for some time, that have maybe been devastating even. Yet the point is that it's time It's time, it's time, it's time. So again, in this last, couple weeks of September, this last 11 days or however many days we have left, sweep under the rug. Do that work. Send your forgivenesses. Write your energy letters. Say your prayers. Burn that candle. Do what you need to do to make a very conscious seal with, as the master though, right? As in strength, with impeccability. And then take your leap. Take your leap. There's a huge, juicy, amazing world waiting for you. And you see, the thing is that if we stay here, we're not in alignment with our true self. The powerful integration that is happening for us and that's ready to happen for you, of really your higher self with your physical self. The master that you are with the student that you are, with the apprentice that you are. These aspects are seeking to integrate with each other. When we don't heal the deal, seal the deal, we are not privy to the magnanimous, is that even a word? The huge, right, possibilities that become awakened within you, because you see it starts in here. It's your vibrational frequency that causes things to react to you. And if you're not holding your true, authentic signature to the best degree that you can at any given moment, then how is what is true to you going to find you? And we have the mind and the dream. So I'm going to take a leap here, and I'm going to think about that lust aspect in strength, and especially because it's been Kundalini, Kundalini, Kundalini has been like all of our conversations. And because emotions are high on this top row, we have that understanding and the projections. And the dream is when you're daydreaming about someone. And believe me, when that Kundalini, when you start to get turned on, it's those that you have an energy resonance with that you might be thinking of sexually, intimately. And there's nothing wrong with that. Put it in a bubble of light. I mean, it's your mind, it's your energy, right? But you can put it in a bubble of light so that it's just in your domain. You don't have to psychically pierce into someone else's veil. Yet sometimes we're not even aware, and we start dreaming about someone else, and it's emotional. There's an emotional connection when there's an energy, the potential for emotional connection. And I mean where there's feelings, not emotions that are rooted in stress or fear. I'm talking about like it's love, because Kundalini is love, right? That life force, that vital life force energy is love. So it feels like this. Look at in the top corner. I always like to say that it's like Fabio and her, right? She looks like Cinderella in the bottom where she's looking over her shoulder, and up top she's like a princess being held. He's going to take care of everything. He's going to take care of everything. But she's got to take care of herself, you see. So it's almost like this bubbling up of the Kundalini, of that vital life force energy, can make one, think about other people, because you're like, I'm walking around with fire in my loins, and what do I do with it? Oh my gosh, and what do I do with it? And so I think our training, and where we naturally just go often as human beings, but also just in our societal training, is you think about sex. You think about sex. And so you can drive yourself crazy. This is a card of the mind. It's all thoughts. But look at him. Look at her. You're blowing out some fuses here. So this shows us that the dream, I want to say something funny, can become a nightmare, but no, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. It's not saying that. The dream can become, it can start to become a loop in your mind that makes you feel like this, right? It goes from being this like little daydream that maybe you're like, ooh, kind of fancy them. That feels kind of energetically resonant. Should I take my thoughts in that direction? You know? And again, in your bubble of light, in your own sacred way, you do what you're going to do with your mind, right? I love what Marianne Williamson says. She says, free will is the ability to think anything you want. So you can exercise that free will. At the same time, we're being invited to exercise our strength, to exercise our mastery and our impeccability so that it doesn't turn into lust, so that it doesn't turn into this like weird obsession, right? There's a difference between like getting dreamy and thinking about someone and what it might be like to, I don't know, whether it's like hold their hand, touch their finger, or kiss them, or wherever you want to go with that. But I think that's the point, is that with that strength card is we have the ability to start to practice. We have been doing it. We've been learning to hold the seed, to hold that energy. And from that point of mastery, then work with your sexual energy, right? Not just letting it go, not just giving it away. Or as an ex-boss of mine said, when years ago, I subbed a spin class. I used to teach fitness all the time, and years ago I subbed a spin class, and she goes, now don't shoot your load. I can't even say it. She said, now don't shoot your load in the first 5 minutes. You're going to need your energy. And I was like, oh, that's kind of, okay, boss. Her words, not mine. In all eloquence, as much as we can, be impeccable. Be a master of your loins, right? So flowering brings that energy up into the heart. There's a practice called brahmacharya in the yoga tradition where you hold your seed. You do not masturbate. You don't look at anything that's going to at all put that fire in your loins. If anything even comes on TV, you're like, okay, I'm going out of the room. Like you purposely do not connect with those energies, like on purpose. Yet those energies just are. So what do you do with it when you got that fire in the loins and that kundalini is like kicking in? You cultivate a practice of, and there's many practices, of moving that energy up into the heart center, up into love. This is the goddess. This is love. This is the mama, the mother of love. Look at her aura. It is pristine. It is clean. She's not, if she is thinking about someone and she's having little like fantasy, lovey, like kundalini kind of like fantasy kind of stuff, it is clean, it is contained, it is pristine, and it's not coming from the loins. She has moved that energy up into her heart, and she is enjoying the sensual, the balanced, emotional, sensual, grounded expression of that. It may never come to pass in the physical form, but she's learning how to contain that energy, embody it from the heart center. So it is clean, so it is pure, it is as pure as it can be, and it actually activates her. It brings her into this ability to move that energy so it doesn't just blaze up the loins, but it moves it up through the spinal channels and through the heart, and so out through all of your channels and your meridians, and out through every cell in your body, and through the spaces between your cells, and out through your aura. So she's like just like her little faucet of kundalini drips, it's just dripping and dripping, and she's holding it. She's having fun with it. And yeah, she might have some little daydream, little fun, but it's not all in the mind, and it's not all in her loins. She's moved it from that mental, remember in the strength card, it was talking about mental mastery, that air quality. She's not obsessing about it, and she's not over-sexualizing it. She's practicing Tantra. She's a Tantra yogini. We are invited this week to get our Tantra Yogini energy on, to learn how to let that well of energy bubble up. You know, and it's hard, I know. For years I grew up just feeling that sex was not a safe thing. We're told stories in the world, or we have a history, we've been hurt, you know, and in some ways violently or something in the past, and so it's just like a no zone. Yet this week we're invited to the degree that we're able to say yes to the zone. We're invited to explore it appropriately and for the highest good. And if there is someone that you have a daydream about, and there is a potential for the two of you to explore that energy, explore the energy, not necessarily the genitals. I mean, you do what you're going to do. Yet, what I'm saying is allow yourself to explore that turn on. It can be sensual, it can be sacred, and it can be impeccable as guided from your higher self, the other person's higher self, in divine alignment with love. It can be love. You can share that with someone, and you don't even have to take your clothes off. That's like Tantra. I mean, you can take your clothes off. That's Tantra too, but you don't. Nothing has to penetrate anything. We're all adults here. Okay? Learning how to hold the bubbles. It's like when the Kundalini starts activating. You see, and this is all that byproduct of us doing all this work. Remember, here we go. Way back when, we were that little caterpillar in the larva. We broke out. We became the butterfly. We learned how to be the butterfly, to be like, who am I? Coming into our authentic, integral self. And now we've been through this process of like, whoa, 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 unviewing ourselves. And then with these astrological shifts, these just planetary codes shifting and changing, we've been invited into it, if we've allowed, to allow ourselves to change, to allow those old DNAs to dissolve, to dismantle, so that the sleeping ones can wake up and mantle. Is that even the right thing to say? Dismantle, mantle, to activate. Right? And so it's like, you've ever seen a little glass of bubbly of champagne? Like, that's how it feels when you get turned on. And it's not just turned on so you can go have sex with someone and then it's like it's done. It's like you begin to live turned on every single day. Can you imagine that? I mean, maybe you're already doing that. Every single day, your bubbles are bubbling. And you're like, she is love. She knows that the bubbles are love. She's not confused that it's all just about sex and lust. And she's not confused. Am I going to marry this guy? Am I going to marry this lady? Are we going to have kids? Are we going to settle down? It's not like all that mind, whatever you need to, like, in your mind you have a relationship with someone, an intimate relationship with someone in your mind. There was a really funny post I posted on my Instagram with Kermit the Frog about that, where it's like, it's just like this illusion thing, where it's like it's all on your side. So anyway, if you're going to play, you know, you're invited to play as your master. Play with the energy. And if you're invited to play, you know, and that can be on your own, or that can be maybe with someone else. Let it be conscious, let it be masterful, and move it up into the heart. Here we go, my friends. This is our death. That's the tower in old school tarot. In the ancient Rider-Waite, the first tarot, this card is akin to the Tower card, which is akin to death. But really, that's our Kundalini too. Look at this. On fire. Look at all the fire in the basement, moving up, 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 the heart, the throat, the crown, lightning bolts, people just fleeing. That's the old you. All those people just jumping out of you, that's the old you. That's like, I can't handle this heat anymore. The light, the love, the flame, the intensity of power that's activated, that's generated within you now, is coming to such the degree that the old yous are like, I'm out, peace, I'm out. Like, they have no choice. And again, major arcana, this is the kind of process that if you're paying attention, if you are connected to your higher self, and what do we say here? Meditate, meditate, meditate. Like every day, meditate, meditate, meditate. That's how you stay in tune with your higher self, with your truth, with love, because you relax. And when you relax, you can, your perception, your ability to perceive and to connect with and receive downloads of divine graces and stuff is that much more expanded than when you're stressed. That shrinks. Fear and stress shrink your spiritual muscles, right? Relaxation, meditation expands your spiritual muscles and channels. Hi, Moses. So we're going to move on, or are we? Because it's a pretty big deal. And remember, we've been talking about this, that this is going to be the week that if you have not died yet, like metaphorically, obviously, if you have not had some kind of like a mind-altering, consciousness-shifting, written your letters, burned the old items that your ex, that you've had forever, that you're like, I need to take this stuff to the secondhand store, I need to clear my space. You know, there's 3D things that we get to do in order to create the correct conditions for that 4D reality, that higher state of consciousness. And as we listen again, and as we attune, and as we just do what our higher self tells, our higher self is like, breaker, breaker, I have a download for you right now, are you home? And you're like, la 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 la, I don't care, I'm just gonna do what I want. And higher self's like, I have something real good for you here right now. If you jump, but you gotta jump on it because the vortex is open. La 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 la. Higher self is like totally plugged in, okay, to God, to source, to love. Like higher self is that part of you that's the eagle, that has that eagle eye, that perception. See, we're down here, we're on land, and even though we meditate and we can be very enlightened and spiritualized, the higher self really has it going on. The higher self will always have that higher vision. The higher self knows things that we don't know. We like to think we know, but we keep coming back to like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And so just knowing that that's what we're going through, that's what this next week, and are we coming into a full moon? Yes, we are this week. We're coming into a full moon. So it's coming into this culmination for us. So if you haven't cried your tears, if you haven't burned that stuff or thrown out and cleaned out that closet of all your ex's old shoes or belts or whatever it might be, or pictures, or deleted old emails from weird people that you don't need in your grid anymore, whatever, it doesn't even have to all be relationship-y and sex or that. It's just like old jobs, old bosses, old school teachers, old whatever it was. There's a huge thing going on in that Catholic Church thing, where they put up that hotline and like so many people are calling up to report that they had been sexually abused by priests and such. That's huge. And maybe you're not ready to forgive that yet, but that's the kind of thing we're talking about, where it's like that, those old pains, if you know it's time, if you know it's been time, have the courage to cut those cords. Have the courage to release. Didn't we do a cutting cords? I'll put a link here. We did a cutting cords, and it had a really beautiful meditation at the end of recent 4D Trinity. And if you're new, every Thursday I go live here at the channel with a show called 4D Trinity. And we talk about everything spiritual, metaphysics, energy healing, multidimensional time shifts, all sorts of consciousness, DNA, all those buzzwords. And we usually do a little meditation at the end. And it was really powerful. We cut cords, man. So I'll put the link up there. And we're going to move on to this bottom row. So there's something that we are comparing ourselves to, or that you are comparing someone else to. And you know what I'm getting? I'm getting that this has to do, now I know I said it doesn't have to be about relationships, but now this is bringing me, even though it's on the bottom row, it's bringing my awareness back to projections, where at the very beginning we were talking about, who are you still talking to in your mind, where there's an emotional cord, let's use that term, an emotional connection that is ready to be severed, ready to be done. There's this sense of like, it almost, and because when that stuff is allowed to go, we get cray-cray. That's the kind of thing that if you don't cut those cords, if you don't, and I mean, really, take a moment. Who's the first person that comes to your mind? That's the person. That's the person that you pardon me, because I do my best. I don't like to tell you what you need to do. Your higher self has got that covered. But I will invite you to consider that that's the kind of thing that when we keep on, or we're in a relationship past the time when we know it's done, subconsciously we know we're done. So what's going to start to happen is there's going to be a part of us that's going to be looking around and comparing our life or our relationship or our situation to other people, because we're not fulfilled and satisfied with what is in the now. And so being very mindful of that, because it's just trickery and it keeps us in the loop, when the reality is that chances are it's just time to say goodbye once and for all. And then as soon as you do that, all the extra stuff that comes with mind games just drops away. And again, you're in your sovereign freedom. Because if we look at these bottom cards, I mean, we've already had integration is a major arcana. Thunderbolt, right? This Tower card, that's a major arcana, our Kundalini card, basically. And then at the bottom, we have the Fool, aloneness, and creativity. And these are all major arcanas. And honestly, these are Kundalini cards. We know that only we can do it for ourselves, right? Only you can tame your lust. Only you can master your mind. Only you can raise that energy up into the heart. Only you can take yourself on the journey of a lifetime. Only you can do those things for yourself. Look, take your staff of power back. This shows us that we do, that we overcome. We overcome. We remember how to be a light unto ourselves. And as we remember that, the freedom, the liberation, we come back into being 0 point. We come back into the Fool, into knowing that we don't know. Yet ultimately, there's always the baseline of knowing that love is the truth. And when you know that love is the truth, and if you have any expectation at all, your expectation is rooted in that faith that is unfuckable with, then you're like, yeah, higher self, what's up? Higher self is like, and I want you to walk straight off that cliff. And you're like, are you serious? Higher self is like, mm-hmm. You're like, okay. Now, I am not telling anyone to go walk off a cliff. And that is a very exaggerated metaphor. Yet, if anyone out there has had those experiences with higher self where it asks you to do something crazy, and you're like, are you serious? Are you serious? And you do it, there's always a reward. Or maybe reward's not the right word, but it takes you into a different realm where you can be of the most service, where your life can receive the greatest service from your environment, to those people, places, things around you, but also where your gifts can be of the greatest service to others. The Fool trusts. They trust their heart. They trust their truth so powerfully that there's no second guessing. It's like today, I was up in the high desert, and I got a tattoo. It's on my Instagram. And I was leaving and just feeling like, oh man, it's so cool. And then my higher self was like, okay, turn here. Okay, have to get that antibacterial soap, to wash it with. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that up here. Higher self said so here we go. So I go into the store, I get the thing. I come out and see there's this crystal store. There's like this juicy crystal sage, they sell jewelry and all that stuff store up there. And every time when I go up to the high desert, I'm always like, am I supposed to go in that store? And like look at the little crystals, of course, right? And I remember when I drove in, I passed it and I was like, oh, I'm so not going in there today. I'm just going to get my blessed tattoo, have this wonderful experience, and I'll be on my way. But I go in and I get the antibacterial soap, and I come out and I get in the car, and I look across the street and I didn't notice, but where higher self had me turn in to get the soap, like literally directly across the street is a crystal store. And I'm like, oh, higher self, you know how to do this, don't you? Because higher self was like, okay, go in there. And I was like, all right, okay, I'll go in there. So I'm pulling out of the store where I got the soap, and I see that there's this like cement meridian, and I'm like, I can't go in there. I can't drive because there was no traffic. It was like the seas parted, and I could just drive straight from like this driveway on one side of the street to this one. But there was this huge cement meridian, and I was like, you see, higher self, I'm not supposed to go in there. I can't go. Higher self was like, okay, turn right. So I turned right, and then like 10 feet up, there's a legal U-turn around the meridian. Higher self was like, see, you can go now. And I was like, ah! And not that I was trying not to go. It's just that, sometimes we have these conversations with higher self, and it's just hilarious. Because then, of course, I go in there, and I'm just like the Fool just zero. I have no idea what I'm doing in there, what I'm supposed to buy or not buy, or just go in there for the energy, or pick up someone's business card, or leave a business card, leave a brochure. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just on standby like the fool. I'm just like la 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 la, looking around. And of course right now I have a thing for amethyst, so I'm like, I go straight to the amethyst and I'm like, can I look at that one and that one and that one? And I'm like, I'm like only touched one of them because I wasn't really feeling. I was just like, ooh, And I said, can we leave them on the side? I feel like I need to keep looking. She's, yeah, totally. She totally gets it, right? I was like, I'm going to go in the back room and look. I go in the back room. As soon as I go back there, there's these powerful arrowhead earrings, like all these handmade, like this little row of them on this little card, like all handmade, hand done, with like written in pen, the prices and stuff. And I was like, and it was whoop, whoop, whoop. Higher self was like, and you're going to buy those and then we can go home. And I was like, and of course, as soon as I saw them, like I knew. And so blessed, grateful, brought them home, right? Gonna cleanse them and clear them. They're still in their little box. I gave them a little Reiki initially, but they need to have their proper ceremony. And you know, it's gifts like that, like in blessings, thank you that I had the $15 to buy the little earrings. And blessings that I had the car to get up there, and blessings, blessings, blessings for all of it. Yet that's the little thing. And you see, as soon as I saw those earrings, I was like, those and the tattoo, that's a thing. They work together, right? And if you're into metaphysics or energy, or you're a healer or anything, you'll be like, girl, I know what you're saying. Right? That there's these things that work together in synergy. So anyway, bringing us back to the Fool is where you want to be. The Fool is in their full power and authority, unattached. And again, the Strength card spoke to that a bit in its sense of being strong, knowing that you're strong, but you don't have to be a bully, right? And you don't have to have things your way. You know what way is your way. And even if 10 other people are like, well, we're going over here, and your higher self is like, yeah, keep going the opposite direction. Even if they're good people, it doesn't have to be bad or wrong or anyone's right or wrong. But your higher self says, keep going in this direction. You're like, okay, peace out, I'm going over here, because you trust, because you know for your journey, for you, for what you need to get, you see, because that's what will be provided, or it's going to bring you closer to it. And this is what I'm saying, is this is where we're going. Remember, universal mastery. That's right. A few weeks ago we had our tarot reading, a universal mastery. School time. We're in a different school zone now. If you've been doing your work and upping your energy and healing your life and like saying yes to greater love and learning how to house that kundalini and use it consciously, then this is where it's at. It really becomes simple. Life becomes simple because it's not perplexed. It's not here spinning, thoughts, the mind mastering you instead of you mastering the mind. It's not here in the past rerunning visions of old relationships that are dead and gone, right? And it's not here, well, it might be here a little bit as you get turned on with your kundalini, but it doesn't stay stuck there, you see, right? We keep moving it into the heart. We keep exploring, keep journeying. Because look at this, what's left for us is this amazing We Are the World. Now, it's been a minute since we got We Are the World. And creativity. You have gifts here that no one else has. Well, okay. I'm like, wait a minute. There's several authors, there's several painters, there's several singers, there's several, accountants, there's several gardeners and holistic veterinarians, etc. Yet, the way that you do holistic veterinarianity, the way that you support and serve your clients with Reiki, the way that you hold space as an author, as a singer, as a performer, as a whatever it is that is your gig, right? When you get out of the way and you let love flow through you, your specific energy signature becomes very distinct. Very distinct. And at the same time, as you get out of the way and you allow love to channel through you, you allow love to show you where to go and what to do, and you honor it unabashedly like the Fool, you begin to create heaven on earth. you begin to tap the 0 point of self like the Fool. And so come to unity consciousness, wear the crown of your crown chakra, which connects you to all people, places, and things on this planet, and so cosmically too. And it sounds really out there, yet it is actually very, very grounding. This is a card of the earth. The rainbow in the triangle at the bottom symbolizes grounding and earth energies. So even though it's cosmic, it's grounding. And that's what we're called for. Again, I don't know if I've said it very clear, but like with this Fool, that it's this, we're calibrating, my friends. We are calibrating. And so yes, paying attention, paying honor. If it's addictions, if it's relationships, if it's the job, you know, if something's saying you got to just like cut all those cords and move to France. It's like that's where we're coming into. We're coming into this like ride or die. And I mean die metaphorically again, right? Do I? I don't know what I mean. Take the leap. Or die not knowing who you really are in your full power and authority, you see. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start living or giving or all of it. Let's start living. Let's start living. Let's start living. And I know we have. And you know what? We're just at the beginning. So keep going. Keep honoring your creative urges. Keep learning how to take your turn on into the heart. And yes, you can play. Yes, you can fantasy. Yes, you can dream a little, you know, appropriately in your bubble. Keep your energy, your sexual energy contained. Learn how to ground it, but also how to move it up so that you can contain it and access it and be that little container of champagne bubbles that makes life so darn interesting and so absolutely beautiful and so powerful. Die the death of you. You have 8 or 9 days. This is we have one day longer. Usually my tarot readings go for 8 days, and I think this one 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Did we say 27? I think this one is 9 days. So they've like, the angels are saying like, let's give you guys an extra day. An extra day to die. A death of the old parts of you. So that you can be crowned as the strong, true, authentic emperor. Remember last week we had emperor, that you are. And so that you can receive your crown, chakra of impeccability. But also, so that that calibration of that life force energy can move all the way up. Maybe it's just to the 3rd chakra, maybe it's just to the heart, maybe it pierces the throat, the 3rd eye, but maybe as well, it starts to tubulate, move up and down and all around your crystalline tube. As above, so below. And so it is. I'm always so very grateful to share these readings with you. I love and appreciate this audience so very much. Again, if you would like a personal reading, my email is down below in the show more or description box. Check it out there. Check out my books, my links, follow me on Instagram, and I do have a PayPal link down below. I really appreciate, with so much gratitude and so much love, all of your donations and support of this channel. I offer spiritual counseling over the phone. Just email me for rates if you're guided, and we'll take it from there. I'm so very grateful for this platform. And check us out this Thursday. When is that going to be? Today's Tuesday. It's going to be the 20th of September. I'm like, what day is it again? I'll put a link here. We're covering the violet flame. So if that's of interest to you, check it out. If you can't make the live stream, there's a whole playlist of reruns. Much love and much namaste. Blessings.